Sports shooting stars, Soul Block on the sidelines with the coaches again. And right now, West York's coach, Ron Miller, you're back on the show. Welcome back, coach.
Always good to be back. Thanks for having us.
Still undefeated. Coach Miller, your defense has been lights out, still holding teams under, 7 points a game. Now, against Southwestern last week, they actually made it over 10 points for the first time this year. You gave up over 10. But what is the mindset going in against New Oxford, coach, and trying to maintain that level of defense?
Yeah, it's kind of imperative against a team like New Oxford. So, I think the thing that we've been stressing since Saturday morning has been taking care of the fundamental stuff that we do. If my job as a defensive lineman is to maintain gap integrity and keep outside arm free, those are the things that we're trying to really dial in on. We're not trying to get too exotic with our schemes or anything like that. I think in games that are, this big, you got to rely on your training and you go back to those fundamentals that the blocking, tackling, catching, throwing, those type of things. So that's kind of been the mindset. And defensively, it's very much the same, getting lined up. New Oxford throws a variety of formations at you, some of them that you typically just don't see all year long. So, making sure we're aligned properly is number one. And then, assignment sound.
Well, you're talking about number one right now. You're tied number one in 4A, looking at the districts. New Oxford tied 5A, coach. Obviously the crowd and everybody's going to be out there this Friday night. It's another home game, coach. What do you tell your kids here to try not to get too amped, and just, keep focus?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a lot of times in these type of games, when you know that there's something you're really playing to put yourself in position, not only for the division, but also for the district seedings, these things are starting to become very relevant right now. And they know, it's been a decade since we've won a division championship. And in order to do that, we're going to have to play extremely well and beat the gold standard in our division, which is New Oxford. So, you can see where with you guys covering the game, we have radio coming, obviously the press is out there and you can feel the energy, but our thing is doing what we always do. And that's staying focused on getting better today. I felt yesterday, I thought practice was outstanding. I thought we did things well and, weather aside today and we'll adjust accordingly to that. But I think the most important thing is doing what we always do, going 1-0 today and, preparing today to be the best we can be and do the same tomorrow. And then Friday, go out and hopefully put on a good performance.
Well, and tell the people, coach, that might not know, but you and Coach Warner, New Oxford's coach, have a little bit of a history. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We do. Coach Warner, I was the offensive coordinator at Susquehanna University when Coach Warner went to Susquehanna and he was a receiver for us. Very bright guy. I mean, obviously, I have nothing but tons of respect for him and what he's done with this program. It's just run so well. You just watch the video and you're like, they're just well organized. The details, they're detail oriented, and they do what they do extremely well. So it's a tremendous challenge. I'm extremely proud of Coach Warner, what he's done over there. And then, he has his D-line coach, Adam Summers, also played at Susquehanna while I was coaching there. So kind of a familiar faces with those guys. And again, very proud of both of them, the men that they've become.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
if you're watching out there and you didn't see past interviews, it was just 2 seasons ago. West York was 0-10, and as Coach Miller pointed out, not one time during that season did they lead, not even for a split second. So then last year came back and just completely from the get-go turned around the whole program, really. Coming in this year 7-0. Coach, we just talked about Coach Warner and them. He's had your number since 2013. New Oxford seems to beat West York, but this team's different. Coach, talk about how this year is different for you guys.
Well, I mean, obviously, the success that we had last year carries over into this year. Another year, getting in the weight room in the off season, which was for us extremely important. And I think just the level of confidence and belief. I think, it was very hard to sell something or to ask kids to wake up as early as we do to lift weights when, they had struggled for the years before I got there. And then obviously, we did in grand fashion my first year back and struggled, but they just kept coming. As I said in my last time I was on with you guys, when you do something consistently over time, and while it may not feel like you're ever going to get there, you're going to get there. So I think the mindset this year was, we set our goal early in the summertime. We don't talk about it much. We know what we want to do, and we just put our heads down and work as hard as we can to move, whether it's an inch, a yard, a foot, closer towards accomplishing that goal. And this is obviously a big test for us. This will really tell us where we stand. As you said, Coach Warner has those guys at number one in District 3, 5A. They've been undefeated. I don't know when's the last time they even lost a game in Division 2. And one thing I can speak to is experience of having teams that have had success over time. Trying to really put into my guys' heads that they're not giving this away by any stretch of the imagination. And champions, and that's exactly what New Oxford, that whole program. They're a championship standard program, and champions don't give anything away. And they'll fight, and there's no question that this is going to be, hopefully we can, give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter, but it's going to be a slugfest. If we're going to come out on top, it's going to take our best effort. And there's some things we really need to get cleaned up, from penalties to some of the situational football that we played last week that, put us in bad situations for our defense. And I think of all the things New Oxford does, I think they play complementary football better than most high school teams that I've seen. And I know that Coach Warner understands the importance of field position. And if you look through like, they always seem like they're setting up shop near midfield, and the opposing team is always inside their 20. That is something we just can't have. It's not something we can maintain, and we won't have success if those are the things that we do. So we're really concerned about those type of things as well.
Well, you kind of nailed it with talking about, them on both sides of the ball. Both your teams, Coach, coming in 1 and 2 on defense. They're only giving up 10 points a game. You're giving up 7 points a game so far. And you both average 37 points per game on offense. It should be a slugfest. Right. Any message you want to give to the Bulldog Nation out there about Friday's game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think this week we're calling this one the banger on Bannister, right? And the crowd this year they just keep getting a little bit bigger. And this week, without question, we need all the dogs out this week. And hopefully we pack up Bulldog Alley and the stands are full and there's an energy. There certainly has been an energy within the community and at games. So this week is going to be one that, I'm sure the people have been waiting a long time for us to get back to this point. I know we have, and we've worked very hard to get here. So we're blessed to have this opportunity, and we're going to do everything in our power to perform at our best.
Well, you heard the man, Coach Ron Miller. Thanks again for jumping
Absolutely.
up here. I can't wait. I'll be out there this Friday. We encourage each and every one of you guys to make it out there. If you can't, you can watch it on Sports Shooting Stars.
We bring the game to you.